Before George Harrison ever owned a guitar, he was already living in a world filled with them, at least in his imagination. As a teenager, while his classmates focused on lessons, George sat in the back of the classroom sketching dream guitars on scraps of paper. Sleek, solid bodies, elegant cutaways, and classic F-holes. He couldn't stop drawing them. His obsession was crystal clear. Guitars weren't just instruments, they were his future. But obsession alone wasn't enough. George needed money, and at that time, even a basic guitar was far out of reach for a working-class Liverpool teenager. That's when his biggest supporter stepped in, his mother. With her modest loan, George bought his very first guitar, a second-hand Egmont 1050 Toledo acoustic. It wasn't glamorous. In fact, it was a steel-string beginner's model, bought from a school friend for just 3x10s. But in George's hands, it became priceless. Adjusted for inflation, that tiny investment would be worth around $95 or $130 today. And it marked the beginning of a journey that would one day change music forever. From there, George's guitar collection began to grow. By 1958, with another push from the Bank of Mom, he stepped up to a Hofner President for $30. And then came the Futurama, a guitar with a story of its own. Because of strict British import laws, iconic American models like the Fender Stratocaster, the guitar played by his hero Buddy Holly, were forbidden. The Futurama, built in Czechoslovakia but sold through a British importer, slipped through the cracks and ended up hanging on the wall at Liverpool's famous Hessey's Music Centre. The purchase didn't go smoothly. Paul McCartney later recalled that when George tested it in the shop, he pressed one of the buttons near the pickups and triggered an explosive boom through the amplifier. The sound was so powerful that every other guitar on the wall came crashing down. That chaotic moment became the start of a new chapter, as the Futurama traveled with the Beatles through their formative Hamburg days. As the years rolled on, George upgraded again, this time to a Gretsch Duo Jet. That guitar opened the door to his iconic Gretsch Country Gentleman, an instrument forever linked to his image as a Beatle. For decades, fans believed the Country Gentleman was destroyed in 1964. But recently, new whispers have emerged suggesting that may not be true. Even more shocking is a confession from legendary vintage guitar dealer Norman Harris, who revealed he once had the chance to buy the guitar directly from George Harrison himself, but walked away from the deal. Imagine holding history in your hands and letting it slip away. Now, with a brand new chapter of the Beatles anthology on the horizon, fans are buzzing with excitement. Could this release finally reveal the truth about George Harrison's missing guitar? And what secrets about the Beatles' earliest instruments might still be waiting to surface? One thing is certain. From a cheap second-hand Egmont to the guitars that defined an era, every step of George Harrison's journey proves that sometimes the humblest beginnings can create legends.